In 1984, Mercury Marine announced a $100 million investment in a 5-year initiative to enhance manufacturing efficiency, including $23 million for workforce training. The following year, in 1985, Richard Jordan was appointed president of Mercury. To increase the company's responsiveness and efficiency, Mercury's divisions were consolidated to form the Marine Power Group. Meanwhile, in 1984, Chrysler was undergoing a prolonged and difficult business exit. In January of 1984, Bayliner Corporation bought the entire plant and outboard operation from Chrysler. Bayliner formed a new company called U.S. Marine to run the outboard division. The outboard hoods were individually labeled Chrysler or Force. In the following year, Chrysler was phased out, and the outboards bore the Force name. U.S. Marine continued to promote and sell pre-rigged boat and motor packages, a concept Chrysler had introduced with Starcraft in 1983 to 1984. In 1986, the Brunswick Corporation shocked the boating industry by acquiring Bayliner Marine Corporation and Sea Ray, the two largest boat companies in the world. This allowed Brunswick to offer complete packages of trailers, boats, and engines. During this time, Brunswick also acquired BMW Marine, the marine engine division of the German automobile manufacturer BMW AG. This provided access to new technologies. Until this point, BMW had been producing modified automotive 4- and 6-cylinder engines for boat equipped with sterndrive. Alongside the gasoline engines, low RPM diesel engines were also produced and installed. So don't be surprised if you see the BMW emblem and an engine from a BMW 2002, E28, or E30 installed on a boat. Competing with OMC and following market strategies, Mercury Marine continued offering pre-rigged boat and motor packages with most of its boat brands. This concept boosted Force outboard sales. Outboards sold in these pre-rigged packages carried special model numbers indicating the boat manufacturers they were paired with. On May 12, 1986, the marine industry bid farewell to a legend Ralph Evinrude, forever linked with his rival Carl Kiekhaefer, and lost the last living connection to its origins. This moment calls for a brief reflection and a heartfelt tribute to Ole Evinrude, Ralph's father, as well as Stephen Briggs and the Johnson brothers, Lou, Harry, and Clarence, without whom lakes and seas would be endlessly quiet today, and history would have remained silent. For those of you who want to learn the interesting history of Johnson and Evinrude outboards, as well as the creation of OMC, you can find links in the description below the video. Now it is time to continue and proceed chronologically. In 1987, Mercury Marine introduced its first two-stroke electronic fuel injection, EFI, production outboard, the V6 Laser 220. EFI technology, initially used in exotic cars in the early 1980s, gradually replaced carburetors. The advantages of EFI include smooth running, easy starting, and low emission performance, even in two-stroke engines. Mercury Marine made a significant step towards environmental protection well ahead of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) imposing emission limits, 11 years before they became mandatory. This is documented in the EPA Journal, Volume 20, page 3, 1994, which I'd like to quote. Working in cooperation with the marine industry, EPA has proposed the nation's first emission standards for marine engines. The standards proposed would apply to all new outboard, inboard, sterndrive, and personal watercraft engines such as jet skis and wave runners. Manufacturers would begin phasing in the new standards over a 9-year period, beginning with the 1998 model year. The technology developed will create a new generation of low-emission, high-performance engines. Older models will be unaffected by the new standards. End of quote. In the same year, 1987, progress continued as Mercury announced record contracts for its Mare cruiser engines for 1988 and 1989. In 1988, Fred Kiekhaefer joined Mercury Marine as president of the High Performance Division. Fred embraced the division's promotional agenda, using Mercury products to win races and elevate brand visibility rather than directly generate revenue. In February 1988, Tohatsu and Brunswick Corporation formed a joint venture, Tohatsu Marine Corporation, to produce outboards for Mercury Marine. Some Mercury Force motors were also produced by Tohatsu, and certain Mercury outboards with less than 60 horsepower were rebranded Tohatsu engines. As you can see, Brunswick Corporation avoids direct confrontation with competitors, opting instead to expand production through joint ventures. Another key development was Mercury's 1988 agreement with General Motors to manufacture V8 engines for certain 1989 Corvette models at Mercury's plant in Stillwater, Oklahoma. In November 1988, Mercury President Richard Jordan announced his retirement, and he was succeeded by Thomas Weig, the president of Brunswick's division, who had previously worked for 21 years at Mercury Marine. In January 1989, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources raised concerns about carbon monoxide emissions at Mercury's Fox River testing site. This prompted the company to install a $250,000 emissions control system. Shortly after, a recession hit, leading to decreased sales and mass layoffs, continuing into the early 1990s. During these challenging times, Mercury Marine appointed David Jones as its new president. In 1990, Brunswick acquired Kiekhaefer Aeromarine Motors, making it a subsidiary. That same year, Mercury's powerboats division was reorganized and renamed Brunswick Fishing Boats. Aside from the recession, Mercury faced additional challenges, including resistance from boat manufacturers to purchase engines from Mercury Marine. After the recession, Mercury Marine resumed its production cycle and sales. Analyzing the crisis, Mercury worked to strengthen its leadership in the industry. Under President David Jones, the company focused on improving quality, motivating employees, reducing engine emissions, and diversifying into non-marine businesses. Now, I would like to thank all of you who have already subscribed, as well as those who have just subscribed to the Boat Motors channel. I believe that our team's efforts to create engaging video films will be positively received by you. As you may already know, all new videos are being experimentally published in 7 different languages: English, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, German, and Russian. Our goal is to give each of you the opportunity to watch and listen to the videos in your native language, eliminating the need for YouTube's automatic translation and subtitles. This is also a good moment to apologize for any minor inaccuracies in translation and pronunciation of words. As you might expect, creating the video along with its translation, editing, and synchronization takes a lot of time for our team. Therefore, we ask that you leave your comments and feedback on our work, as we hope to eventually move out of the experimental phase and make multilingual versions a standard feature on the Boat Motors channel. Thank you for your support, and we wish you success in all your projects.